Hey everyone, welcome to the Relationship Smith Show. We are live tonight with I did want to get into before we get out of here. We're running out of time.
No,
Technically, I think we already have, and I apologize. I could
no,
talk to you
I
all
like
night.
talking.
We'll keep
Okay,
going
go.
all night. As long as you can, I'm here.
Yeah.
You're a mom, 2 children. What
Mhm.
kind of mom are you? And keep in mind that your daughter is an actress and writer, and someday I'm going to have her on the show and ask her the same question. What kind of mom are you?
I'm a great mom.
I'm
I'm
going
a
to ask
great.
her.
I love my kids. I am the mom who will drop everything for my kids.
You
Anything,
did.
everything. I will drop everything. But and I do this in combination with my husband. The thing that's very interesting is my husband is the nurturer, and I'm the one who's more like the hard lessons. So I'll go in and do like the hard lesson stuff. Like as an example, I always say this: if your child forgets their jacket, you know how like a child forgets a jacket and they go to school. So to me, I would be the one in the family. My husband would be I'd be the one in the family to go. If you forgot your jacket, then you forgot
Don't
your
have a
jacket
jacket.
and you'll be cold during the day, and that's just the way it is. And you'll learn that you don't forget your jacket, otherwise you'll be cold, right? And that's probably a very German kind of a thinking, like,
I grew up in that house.
but the for me, it's not about being cruel or mean. It's about learning the consequences of life.
Yeah.
If you don't do this, this doesn't happen. And I think that's a very important lesson for child to learn. It also shows to me, I'm prepping them for being on their own. And I trust that they will be able to make those decisions. And I don't worry about them. I care about them, but I'm not a worrier about them. I don't go, oh, are they okay, blah, blah. I'm very much like, if you have a problem, you come to me and I'll help you. Okay. My husband is the nurturer. My husband is the one, you forgot your jacket. Not only will I bring it, but I'll bring chocolate chip cookies and a
Fill the
stuffed animal.
pockets with.
And then maybe we'll go and I'll take you out early. It's like, no, no.
I have no idea what that life is like.
Oh my gosh. So the funny part is our kids have been raised to learn both. So that to me is good because they've learned they can choose what they need to when they need to. Isn't that funny? So that's how I raise it now. If I was on my own and I didn't have my husband, I think that's really hard because I'd have to be both. Like I'd have to do both. I don't know if I do both. I don't know. It's a whole different ball game.
You never know till you get there. It's like, your decision to take a role or not. You never know if the movie is going to be better or worse with or without you. You just know what it is.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, your daughter apparently does think you're a great mom because you've been in a lot of her projects, including Prank Panel, where she was the bride and you were the mother of the bride, and your husband was the father of the bride.
Yes.
How did you get? And I don't want to spoil it. It's new enough out there, but it is a quality prank. I don't know if it's a spoiler because they say what they're going to do at the beginning of the prank, but it was fantastic. Your daughter nailed it. She killed it. She looks great in a wedding dress. First off, I can see when she smiles. I see your face in her smile. How did you get involved?
Oh, this is great. I love this. I love that you asked the story because, again, this is something that I wouldn't normally talk about. So behind the scenes on this is what makes me excited. Because, I do all these movies and I do these things or I'm the star. But, I'm sorry. When my kids are in something, I go crazy. I'm like, oh, my gosh, I'm your biggest fan. My son, my daughter, I'm like, I'm the one. I'm the biggest fan. So my daughter gets this prank panel from Johnny Knoxville. She gets the part and her agent sends her out and she gets the job. Okay. So I don't know if it was still COVID-y time, but they said they wanted somebody to play her parents. And her manager actually brought up that he said, well, Diane's her mother, Diane Franklin's an actress. Maybe your parents can play her parents. So I think the manager recommended it to the company and they said, yeah. And Johnny Knoxville knew who I was, which made me very happy because I love Johnny Knoxville, love Eric Andre, and the other actress who's on the show. They're amazing, wonderful. And I'm sorry, I forgot her name. So
I did too.
But she was in Precious. Excellent actress, wonderful. But Johnny Knoxville was the person that we were dealing with, and so he wanted me to come. Now the funny part was my daughter's asked my husband to be in other movies that she's done. He's always said no because he's actually very shy. He's a writer, but he's very shy. So for in the performance world, so when this came up, she said, "Would you like to?" She asked my husband, and he said, "Yeah, I'll do it." And we all just about fell. We were like, "What? You're going to do this?" He said, "Yeah, because it's improv. It's not lines. It's not acting. It's improv." And he felt very comfortable doing it. So we were like, "Oh," and I said, "You don't know what a gift this is. This is such a gift for Olivia in her whole life. Like, no matter what happens, she could say, I did this episode with my parents." Like, what is that to me was so, that's on my level, like where I was taking it from. So we go to do the episode, and we're just going to play the parents. And the only thing we really had to do in that episode was walk our daughter down the aisle and walk the groom down the aisle, and trying not to give it away. But anyway, we had to walk them both down the aisle. But I knew that it was improv, and Olivia told me that the cameras are going to be everywhere. So I thought, look, they're going to be able to cut what they don't and not cut what they don't. So it doesn't matter if there's little individual stories going on, then I know from a producing standpoint, from the, working on films, making films,
they have more to cut too.
Yeah. Well, let's just give them something to cut too. So when the episode happened, I just, everyone, we all got into character. I mean, before the show was shot, all of the actors who were on that set, the wedding set, because it was a prank wedding, for those of you who don't know, were all were actors and improvisers. So we were all like having relationships and talking to each other like we were those characters. So like there was a guy I was talking to who were like, "Oh, so you're here. This makes this really awkward for me. I don't feel very comfortable you being here, but fine. But over. We're not talking anymore." Like, so deep relationships, like great moments, right? So what happened was, when the girl fell in the cake, I just created this relationship with her that, like, at every event she ruins it. There's always somebody who ruins it. There's always, right? And then as a mother of the bride, I'm going to take it even more personally. So I went up to the mark when this happened, because she came over, the woman who's whatever, she came up to the table, and I just created my own scene with her. And I was like, "I'm so sorry." And like, and I just went off, and they loved it. I guess it was hilarious. I just went off and I did all these different things. And I was really grateful that Johnny Knoxville put it in the episode, because first of all, because Livy was in it, and because, I took a chance that I said, yeah, I'm going to do this because it just makes sense emotionally. So I really appreciate you like it. I hope people will come and watch it. It's called Family Matters, and it's on ABC. But I think you can watch them now on the internet.
Anywhere,
go look it up.
Yeah.
Pay
somebody and they'll show it to you.
Pretty funny. And you say a prank show like that. That episode we did was number, I think, 22 in shooting schedule, but they wound up making it the pilot. It became the show that sold the audience on watching the show. So that was phenomenal. We couldn't believe
you launch another thing. How many times you're going to launch iconic things into our society?
I was like, are you kidding me? So anyway, I don't know what number episode it would be. It was the pilot episode. It played in like May, and the show played in July. So, but if you enjoy it, I hope you like it. And remember, that's my husband, and he was so cute. And Ray got into it too. Like, I had to, I was like, I said, okay, I'm going to kiss the groom, because when you find out there's a reason why I kiss the groom. And then he's like, "Kiss him again." And I'm like, okay. So like, I was just little things that are in there, like just that really hit home with the subject matter of Family Matters.
The Family Matters.
Yeah.
I was very thrilled to see it. What other stuff do you have going on in your life? Let's play you out and talk about how people can find you and your tours. Anything you have going on. Let's talk about you.
All right. So there's so many things. Well, first of all, I have written these 3 books. If you love Better Off Dead, definitely, I highly recommend. This book is so wonderful. That's my first book, but my 3rd book, if you like Better Off Dead, get the Better Off Dead book. it's like a given. Like people have gotten it, and they adore it, they love it. So that's out. But I will sign my autobiography as well, and any of them. The other thing is I've actually done some recent work. I'm in a movie called Waking Nightmare. You'll see a dramatic performance. It's a horror film, but it's very dramatic. And I've gotten amazing reviews for that. So that came out. I also did a short film called Paradolia, which is actually
I want to see that.
Oh, it's right now it's in the film festival circuit in the UK. It's getting all these awards. I actually won my first
I saw
Best Actress award. I'm like, what? So recently. So thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
I wanted to lead in with that and Emmy nominated and all that stuff, but I also don't know how much people like hearing that in front of their names. Like, do they love it, or is it just like embarrassing at some point?
No,
But
you know, I don't
congratulations.
know. For me at this point in my career, I'm happy to hear that. That's like so exciting.
You
But
deserve
I do
it.
think, but I think it's you know, you have to I think if you get an award early in your life, that's hard because you always feel like you have to be better than the last, or kind of, I don't know. It's not
Yep.
as easy.
Look what happened to Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah. Well,
Poor
I mean,
kid.
you know, he then has to become, I mean, in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he winds up, he's wonderful actor in that, but he also has to show his kind of goofy side so that the audience finds him endearing. You know, if you become too famous, it can be very standoffish. It's not always easy. Careers are not easy. Whether you make it, you have problems. Not making it, you have problems. It's a problem. Life is hard.
Life is
Life is hard. It's hard. But
upcoming
okay, so what's
conventions.
happening? All right. So I have Pensacon coming up in Florida. I don't have any other conventions set up, but I actually am going to be shooting a film, and it's going to be in Albany. I'm going to shoot it in February. So I'm going to be in another film. I can't say the name of it right now, but I am working on that. I did a movie called Vampire. It's coming out next fall, I think. And if you like my French dialect, I think you will hear it again.
Nice.
And I did a movie called, I did a TV series called, I want to say Free. Oh my gosh, my mind is a sieve right now. Not Writing Free. Oh, dang, it's gone. But it's going to be a series that's going to be on in the fall and then on the internet. So, dang it.
That's okay. It's a lot. I've
so
looked
much
up
going on.
your work, and
plus
that's why I have notes.
I teach kids, which is why my brain's going. People don't realize that I'll do conventions, I'll write books, I have a family, but I also teach kids, and I teach regularly. This is not even my coaching. I coach adults, but I teach kids K through 8th. And what I do is I teach K through 5 with these specialty things. I'm an artist in residence at a school, and I come in and I do drama workshops with them.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I'm also director of doing school musicals. So you know when you're in school and you did a musical, I'm the director. And
I was stage crew.
We have stage crew, we have building.
I did take choir, and one of my favorite teachers was my choir teacher. She taught me more about being an adult human being than almost anybody else in my life. Not just how to use my voice. She taught me how to be a proper, nice person as well as I could.
Welcome to my world. 6th through 8th grade.
You're changing lives.
Yeah, how to be an adult, how to grow up. And I'm in the hormone world. My world is surrounded by ever-changing hormones. So, and I work with those kids. I adore it. I love kids. I love all ages of kids. And people like will shocked when they see me. I mean, it's hilarious. My students are like, yay! Like, it's really funny. And the kids are like, yay, it's Mrs. D. And all the parents are like, God, that's Diane Franklin, you know? So it's very funny to see the two worlds.
Do you ever get the second check from the dad going, wait a minute, is that Karen?
Yeah, right. I know. Right? Can you ask your teacher for an autograph? I'm like, what? My dad wants an autograph. Like, it's like, oh my
okay.
gosh.
No, I love the fact that one of the reasons I was attracted to having you on the show is because you taught yourself a lot of those lessons, and the fact that you're going back and people have so much to learn from you. Upcoming influencers on YouTube who are going to run into that fame wall where suddenly it's not just something they want, it's something that's there and they have to live with and confront, to learn lessons from you, to hear that like you can have a family and a life, You can have a good relationship with everybody
Really?
around you
And when
if you
things are
work at it.
bad, it will get better. That's the thing that young people don't see. They don't see, they see maybe things were good. And then if, especially now, things are very bad for a lot of people. If you're asking yourself why, and like, you know, there's older people who are looking down at the younger people going, why don't they know certain things? You know, why don't they know how to behave, or why aren't they stronger, or why don't they fight back, or what, you know, there's a lot of things older generation will look back. You got to remember, 3 years have gone by where we had COVID before, after. I mean, telling you, those years not only affected little kids' education, or you know, older, you know, kids in school education, it affected development, it affected social development. So you have to understand that people are, everybody, we're behind. You
Yeah,
know, there are probably older people looking at us going, haven't they learned to do that already? My gosh, right?
us three started working together because 2020 was so rough on developing anything. The only thing we could do is connect via whatever we were doing. It wasn't the talk show like this. This show is a result of, we were stunted and we needed some outlet. And I don't think nobody's recovered from 2020 yet. I don't care. Friendships were lost from the political side. Time was lost. People didn't get to do things that are rites, rituals of growing up. And even small children, like, they've lost a year where every year of our lives, we learn something important, and they lost some of that. Yeah. Like, so yeah, it's absolutely imperative to
one of the things
pay more attention.
little kids have learned, they've learned there's an age. The new kids are learning a little bit more, the ones who haven't been, but there's like a couple of grades, like second or third or fourth, that are having, they don't understand that everyone can't talk at the same time. So it's like, they're great kids, but they don't understand that you got to take turns. It's hilarious. So, and
That's,
you know, because everyone's been put, you know, shell shocked, or you put away for so long that now everyone wants to talk, you know. So
I'm still learning the pattern right here, right now.
Yeah.
Like, how do we hand it off to each other? Speaking of, why aren't you doing a talk show? You're really, really good. I know we're what we are, but you're really good at this. You should have your own show like this.
Thank you. All right. So this is kind of funny. There was a couple along, maybe I'm going to say 10 years ago. This was before podcasts were a thing. So is that 10 years ago?
Sure. I think 5 years ago, probably. They were saying whether people were listening or not was a very different question.
So they had this thing, and they said to me, Diane, do you want your own talk show? And I was like, what? Like, so I said, okay, fine. I did a thing, and I thought, oh, you know, I have an idea. What I'll do is I'll do a talk show and have my friends come on it, and I'll interview my friends. And I called it Diane Franklin, Babe of the 80s, or something like that. So I did it, and I really enjoyed it. It was great. But when I did it, I had to drive all hours, like 2 hours away, to go to their place to record it. And after a while, it just got too difficult for me to do. So now I have someone else who contacted me, and I'm in a situation where I may be doing a show for them, but having my own show, I have so many other ideas of things that I want to do that I don't know if I'd want to own that moment, but I like being on shows and sharing things. And if that other show does work out, you will certainly hear about it. So, and if it doesn't, maybe I'll do it on my own with some people I know. But there's another thing too. I don't know if anyone knows this. I did a music video. And people were like, why would you do a music video? Okay, so
how did we not turn that up in research?
Okay, right. I'm a very wide range of things. I did. I sang at Dodger Stadium. I sang the national anthem at Dodger Stadium. But when I sang that, it was operatic, and I don't have a very like rock and roll voice. But what happened was I wanted to do a promo for my new book. So this past year, along the lines of wanting to help my students. And sort of continue the Better Off Dead legacy. I was a promo for my book, but I also said, okay, I want it to be a continuation of kids kind of seeing that movie, because it's a really good movie, I think, for young people to watch. So I asked these students that I work with if they wanted to dance in the video. And I said, just dance where however you feel, like express yourself. I want to see your style. So if you see this video, it's very, kid friendly.
I'm gonna see it when we're done.
But the video now, I took it off Spotify because I was like, it doesn't need whatever. But you will get to see it. I had the music done. My son produced it, and I sang and I wrote it. It's funny. I wrote the
That's
music,
awesome.
wrote the words, I sing it, because I'm the kind of person who's like, I'm gonna just do this. I'm gonna write a
All in.
song, do it, and I'm gonna produce it, and I'm just gonna do this. So whether it's good or not doesn't matter. What's good is that what the meaning of it. It's going to help the world. It's going to help these kids. It's going to help people who watch it. It's going to make you feel good. And I gave the kids a place where they can showcase. And I thought those kids are going to grow up and they're going to go, oh my gosh, that girl who was in the movie, she was my teacher and she did this and I'm in that. And that's why I did it. So it has deeper meaning and it matters, So, and then, some people might like, what is this? And I'm like, I'm not trying to be a singer. I know I'm an actor. I see myself, but I went and did it. So you should too. Do your thing,
Do your thing. I love it.
thing.
That's why we're here right now. We don't know anything about doing talk shows, clearly. But we wanted to learn, and everything we do, we learn something new, and we're just going out and doing it, and we're making what we want. So
that's what it's about.
I can't thank you enough for being here. For all the positivity you give the world. I told you before we interviewed that I never really did the celebrity crush thing as a kid. I might have one now because you're so positive.
Nathaniel, you're lovely.
I want to have you back because I have pages of questions I couldn't get to because I've just had so much fun talking. I didn't want to interrupt. Thank you again. Everybody.
This was really great.
Oh, I hope you enjoyed it. And merci, Buckets, for having me on this show. And au revoir to those who are watching. And merci. I know they've asked me to talk like this. So I want to tell you, yes, Monique is here and she says bonjour and have French fries, French bread, and Peru. All right?
And Peru.
Yeah.
It's delicious. Everybody, please remember to subscribe. It's what keeps this show going. The more numbers we get, the more people we could reach out to, the better interviews we could have. I don't know how they get better than this. Obviously, you're so fantastic. Thank you for sharing you with us. Thank you for all the work you've done your entire life to entertain and give us just such quality work. I can't be happier having had this time with you.
You're welcome. And there's more to come.
Awesome. Josh, let's play us out. The Relationship Smith Show.